All right, guys, this is American government. So since nobody showed up for class today, I will go through and show you what I was going to teach anyway. Today's objective was to teach everybody how to outline a course and starting with their first pages of their lesson. So let me share my screen. Okay. So one here, you should see this is my course. Okay. When you jump into the course, you should have a landing page. It should look a lot like this. And then we go from there. You should have access to all your resources, getting started, and so forth. What I'm going to do is getting started can be done in all of your courses. So if you just go there with one of them, they're all the same for all of your courses. So you should do that at least once every semester. But let's go to Module 1, the history of government. Okay. Because today we are going to work on outlining. And I can see it. It's the same here for me as it is for you when it comes up on your screen. I'm going to make that a half screen so that you can see how I am going to create a outline. So first thing we need to do is open a Google Doc, go to your waffle machine there, click on Doc, start a blank one. Okay. This is the module. So we're going to do history of government, title it. First thing you should always do. Nice thing about Google Docs is this will save it for you. So you don't need to save anything. History of government. So I guess the first question is, have human beings always had some sort of government? Maybe that's in our objectives. When and why were the first governments created? Looks like that's going to be something we're going to be learning about. So the first thing I like to do is, let's start with this. History of government. Okay, and obviously here I can't spell, but that's okay as well. So now I'm going to bold that. I'm going to make it 12. I'm also going to create a bulleted list. Now here allows me to change it up. So history of government. I like this question that it's asking here. Okay, sometimes the questions are kind of blase, not really cool, but this one here, when and why were the first ones created? Let's paste that without formatting. So that will be a question we're looking at, okay? And then we also have objectives, okay? And here are our objectives. Let's go ahead and copy and paste all of our objectives into R. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to create a new level of my outline. All right, so this actually tells us, so we've got the title of the page, the main question, which eventually we can answer, okay? Our objectives. Our objectives are identify and describe the origin of law as a concept and list specific sets of laws, okay? Connect the emergence of laws and civilizations to conflicts within those societies. All right. Identify and describe philosophies behind the earliest forms of government, feudalism, monarchies, mercantilism, Greek democracy, etc., and describe and evaluate historical arguments for the necessity of government. So these are our objectives. We also have something else on this page that's pretty important. As you can see, we have keywords. So I'm going to copy and paste these. And again, you want to paste without formatting when you right click on there. Okay. And then I am just going to all of these words. And if I hit tab over, it's going to make them just like my objectives and makes it easy. So now you have the first page set up. Okay. This is stuff that we're going to try and fill in as we go through the next page. So let's go and hit next. All right. Now there's a lot of different tools we can look at, okay? This is your first time going through one of the courses. This is a good time to go through this. You have here This is, you can hover over text when reading aloud. Okay, you can play things. So if you wanted to listen to it, this would, basically record what I'm saying here. Pause, stop, obviously. This here is a translator tool. So if English is not your first language, this button here can translate any of these words into any language you want. If you want to teach yourself a different language, that's a good way to do that. This here is so this is your dictionary. So if you want to look up a term like Sumerian, you can highlight that, go to your dictionary, and it'll tell you. Okay, so there's different things available there. Okay, you can click on a picture, definition. All right, just a lot of different tools here for you to use. All right, so next page is how government began. So it looks like I'm going to start a new one. So each page is a new uppercase letter. All right. And then what I'm going to do now is put the question again, copy, paste without formatting. All right. So when and why were governments first created? Maybe we're going to find out this question in this section. So government can be defined as a set of rules and a means for enforcing those rules. In ancient time, the rule of law could be very simple, like the 10 Commandments of Judaism, or quite complex. Ethiopians and Sumerians, for instance, developed lengthy and very detailed legal codes at least 4,000 years ago. All right. So this here is a great, okay. So it's when and why were the first governments created? To create rules, and they were created almost 4,000 years ago. All right, so now you can see you have some details in here, right? You're answering some questions. All right, were the first governments to emerge, and how did they assert their authority? Don't forget to finish it. Okay, so it's a working document. Okay. All right, so I would assume that if you go through here and watch this video, you'll probably get the answer to this question for B, how government began. Although law, we can also finish reading up here. Legitimacy, okay. So you need to be legitimate. Legitimacy is a big term with governments. If your government isn't legitimate, no one's going to respect it. And then nobody has respect for the laws that the government passes. You may have seen examples of that in other history courses and stuff like that. All right, so keep this uniform. I'm going to bold that. So if you don't feel like watching a video, there are the ability to read these transcripts here. Okay, so let's see if we can find the answer to this. What were the first governments to emerge, and how did they assert their authority? So let's just read quietly here as we go through. Okay. So that's really just talking about the royal seal. Okay. Okay, official decrees, centralized governments. So really it's, if you think about royalty, it comes from monarchs, right? And monarchs are one of the oldest, here's monarchy, forms of government. Basically, kings and queens got their job as the leader of their civilization through birthright. And a lot of them were also tied to religion, which could be theocracy, right? So government by religion. And so a lot of monarchs were tied to theocracy as well. But as you go through, get the definitions for your key words and objectives. So then we can go to the next level. And as you find an answer for that, okay, see, keeping the peace. Okay. So that is our next. All right, bold that. And then you can put notes down here and so forth. All right. So as you continue to do this, another button that you can look up here is share. Okay. Now you can share with me. There's my email address right here, froggedb@casdschools.org. And what you can do is, one of the things I highly encourage is making sure you're taking good notes, because this is a skill that can travel with you in any course, at any grade, any level of your life. So if you can learn how to outline your courses, then that's a skill I want you to take with you forever. To get you to do that, I'm willing to give you credit, either extra or figuring something out with you as you're doing your outlines. So if you do these outlines for me, I will help you get higher grades on your quizzes, tests, things like that. Also, you probably won't even need extra credit, because if you're doing it this way, you're taking notes, you're engaging with the materials, you're thinking. I highly, highly encourage you to do this. You can share it with me as you're going along, and we can keep track of all of your outlines. So without further ado, if you have any questions, please email me at froggedb@casdschools.org. Give us a call here, drop in the virtual office, whatever you need to do. Thank you and have a great day.